Welcome to the fourth video in our series about BlackLine's Suspense account matching. We're really glad for you to have joined us today in part 4 of our series. So my name is Brandon Rayborn, and I'm the BlackLine practice lead here at Sensiba. For those of you that haven't had the opportunity to listen to some of the other videos, we do encourage you to go out and look at part 1 through 3 of our series on the matching tool within BlackLine as well. I've devoted the past decade of my career as a CPA to working with organizations to unlock the benefits of technology in their financial close and accounting processes. And in order to give you an idea of who Sensiba is as a firm, we're really proud that we're a Certified B Corporation, and we're one of only a handful of accounting firms in the nation that have achieved that certification. And what it really indicates is that we balance purpose and profit. So if you're interested, you can go out on the website to find out more at sensiba.com. And without further ado, I'm going to kind of set the stage for what our topic of today on suspense account matching will entail. So just as a quick synopsis on the broader BlackLine transaction matching tool, it's really designed to get your teams out of their rainbow spreadsheets, manual coloring of Excel or other spreadsheet tools, into a more analytical approach to the exception handling, or what we like to call the extraordinary. And we don't have to wait till the end of the month, right, when everything else is busy during that month-end close process, to begin the clearing of transactions and ultimately the sending of those transactions to the balance sheet reconciliations. So for a moment, I'd like for you to picture with me the accounting team that's responsible for a payroll clearing process. This is a very common use case across a number of different organizations, number of different industries. And that team, they log into BlackLine in the morning, rather than spending time on what did or did not match in that payroll general ledger account. BlackLine's matching engine has already done all the work for them through automated data source feeds that were loaded overnight. So the accountants are spending just a couple of minutes looking at what's unmatched, flagging a handful as timing, maybe some more eligible for even further automated matching through additional pass rule logic. And then maybe the last few were flagged as missing a key identifier and manually matched off. So those timing items become known and expected, and the other two subsets are flagged and notified to an admin in BlackLine to automate even further for next day's process. So end to end, what used to take hours throughout the month end, and especially in that critical month end close period, just takes a matter of minutes each day. This is truly today for clients who adopt BlackLine's automated approach to transaction matching. So this fourth video in our series is, again, extremely common. Nearly every organization has some type of payroll, and therefore there's going to generally be a clearing or a suspense account where a number of transactions are flowing through. And this can really help to automate that clearing and reconciliation process. So whether we're talking payroll, accruals, AR, suspense, intercompany, or any other high volume general ledger accounts, BlackLine's matching tool can help to automate that process seamlessly. So what we're going to do now is dive into a live demo instance in BlackLine. And to set the stage here, I am logged into one of our partner demo instances as Kim Wilson in the preparer role for the June 2023 period. And I'm looking at our Atlanta division payroll clearing account for the end of the month balance sheet reconciliation. So to kind of set the stage here, you'll notice that the GL balance here is actually coming in as a zero balance. That is correct and intended because this is truly a clearing account, right? So at the end of the month, it should have a zero balance. That is our expectation. We still have a small out of balance here, unidentified difference that has not been fully reconciled through the automated matching of the various different ins and outs that are flowing through this payroll clearing account. So, to kind of set the stage up here at the top, this associated match set section is how BlackLine's transaction matching tool integrates with the reconciliation product. And you'll notice there's kind of this payroll clearing match set, and there's 273 automatic matches that have been cleared. So these are ins and outs in the payroll clearing account that BlackLine automatically cleared according to various different pass rule logic. And if I kind of drill down in here, you can see that there's a number of different pass rules. These are the logical definitions for what we are saying can be an automatic match in this particular case. So we're matching on, for example, date, description, and amount. So if we go down into just one example of what this looks like, we are matching on pay date to pay date. And again, all of this is in the same general ledger account. So we're actually matching the same data source against itself. It's just ins and outs in this clearing account. And then you'll see the amounts tied to the dollar as well as the descriptions. And then, the pay dates are exact. So this is a clean, exact match. Everything highlighted in blue is what BlackLine actually considered when the automated rules were run. So there's no further human involvement needed to clear out those 273 transactions. Let me just drill down and show you an example of how it would be possible as well to throw in a tolerance. And this is very common when we run into situations like this in matching scenarios where the number of dates might cross over either a number of days, a number of weeks, whatever the case may be in a given use case. So in this example, we have a tolerance set of plus or minus 5 days. And so you'll notice here that the amounts tied again to the penny, right? The description's also tied, although description is not in this pass roll. You'll notice that it's not highlighted in blue. So even though child support matches, it's not actually part of what BlackLine considered in this match. And then there was a tolerance set. So when the transaction originally got posted on the 28th of May, the corresponding reversal in the clearing account didn't happen until the 1st of June. So there was a couple of days there, and BlackLine was able to say within 5 days, consider this an automatic match and go ahead and clear it. You can even dial in date tolerances to just be plus 5 days or just minus 5 days if you wanted. Likewise, you can throw in dollar tolerances. There's a number of different attributes that you can help really dial in the level of matching that's intended for a given use case. I'll go as far as to say, in over a decade of doing this for various different clients across a number of industries, I have never run across a situation where BlackLine's matching tool cannot match the data. If there's ever an issue with getting, an automatic match rate up to a certain percentage, it's always because the inbound data, potentially is missing certain elements that might be useful. It can drive as much automation as the underlying data set and use case will allow for. Okay, so to go back here and level set, BlackLine's automatically cleared all of these transactions. So at this stage, as Kim Wilson logging in the morning, really our goal would be to see what's left, what's unmatched. And one of the things that you will notice when we go and look in this unmatched grid, again, we kind of have it broken out by debits and credits because, again, this is one GL account, right? So it's just a clearing account. Everything's flowing to the same account. You'll notice that all of the debits have indicated a yes in the reconciliation item filter field. So what that's telling us is all of these have already been added to the reconciliation as timing items. So very straightforward there. That is really already kind of added to the face of the reconciliation. In fact, if I go back, you'll see some of those values here in the supporting items kind of summary section. So we are still trying to substantiate the remaining $568. When I go into my unmatched grid here, I know that the remaining amounts are going to lie in the credit section. And as I kind of start to select some of these items, I can indicate via BlackLine what the total delta there is. In this case, as I kind of start to select various different items, it'll automatically start to add it up and subtotal it up here. At this stage, what I notice in my unmatched grid is there are transactions that relate to the June period, and they need to be reflected just like we did on the debit side as effectively timing items. We want to do the same thing on the credit side. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say create item because I want to send these to the June reconciliation as timing items, but leave them in the unmatched grid. They're expected to clear in the future accounting month. And so when I come in here, it'll give me the option to either create what they call single items, or I can create a summary item. And in this case, what I'm going to do is come in and actually create what they call single items, classify them as timing. So when I go back to the home screen and see where am I off, you'll see that it got reflected here. And there is one thing that I just got an email on that was a kind of from a new employee that is going through a challenging period in their marriage. So they're having to negotiate some alimony. And we found out that the court just gave them a new alimony charge. It hasn't been booked yet. So what we're going to do is call this a required adjustment because it's a journal entry that needs to be reflected. And it's ultimately going to have a P&L impact on the other side. Say new employee. If we wanted to come down here and give an action plan and who's responsible for booking that entry, we could. In this case, though, I'm just going to leave it as that required adjustment. And so at this point, we have pulled in all of our timing items from the unmatched grid. We've reflected those as kind of summarized summary items here. And we identified one new alimony charge that isn't reflected at all in the ledger and was throwing out our reconciliation. So now our unidentified difference is down to 0. I could come in and provide supporting comments and documentation. In particular, I might attach some of the documentation for what that entry needs to be made, and then scroll all the way down and indicate that I've performed the different items on the reconciliation that our certification statement requires and certify the reconciliation. So again, what used to take a matter of hours in that critical month end period just takes a couple of minutes to go through and see what did and didn't clear. And the rest is automated and matched by BlackLine overnight. Suspense account matching and in general, clearing or suspense accounts are one of the most common use cases out there that we see organizations get huge benefit from. Highly suggest that if you want to learn more, you can always reach out to the BlackLine practice at sensiba.com, or you can go reach out to BlackLine as well to find out more about the power of matching and how it can revolutionize the time spent down in the transaction level detail and reconciliation process to really just free up teams to be that business partner, provide further analysis, and ultimately grow the organization. We really appreciate everyone's time. This is the last in our current plan series, but there will be an announcement coming very soon for what the next series will look like. So thank you again for your time and wish everyone well. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to help in any way that we can. Contact information is on this last slide.